Welcome back. Today we're making a gorgeous provincial vegetable soup. So easy, and making it for two. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, the thing about this soup that's so easy, it's kind of one of each and then a little handful of asparagus. But it's one red pepper, a large carrot, a leek, fennel bulb, a potato, and then of course a handful of asparagus. And if you want to top it off with a little handful of frozen peas, all the better. The key ingredient in this soup is the vegetable broth seasoned with herbe de Provence. It's wonderful spring flavors of tarragon and marjoram, and this one has lavender, and it just has this fragrant flavor that you can't get any other way. And that's really the secret ingredient to this soup. So the soup is fabulous just as a vegetable soup, but there's also a way to add protein. Tofu would be good with it. I've made it with shrimp before, so it's a shrimp and spring vegetable soup. And but the other day I made this with scallops, and it was absolutely out of this world. Something about the spring vegetables and the scallops was just a perfect combination. The first thing that we're going to do is chop up the asparagus and preheat the oven to 425. Typically, if I roast asparagus just to have, I'll drizzle olive oil on it and then salt and pepper. But a lot of the pre-made stocks come pretty salty, so it's better to hold off on the salt until after the soup is cooked. Okay, so the asparagus is going to roast for about 15 minutes until it gets nice and roasted. And we're going to just start with dicing all of these vegetables about the same size, about half-inch dice. right, so we're gonna saute these vegetables in some olive oil. Tablespoon or two, depending on how rich you want the soup. And just until they become softened, maybe 5-10 minutes. Okay, in the meantime, while that's sauteing, I'm gonna cut up a potato the same way, as well as mushrooms. I forgot to bring out the mushrooms, but mushrooms go in as well. And white or cremini, whichever you prefer. And I'll probably put in maybe 5 or 6 mushrooms. All right, the secret special ingredient goes in. It's a teaspoon of herb de Provence. The veg had been sauteing for about 5 minutes, so I'm going to put in the mushrooms and potatoes and continue to saute for about 5 more minutes. All right, so I pulled the asparagus out. It's good and roasted, and it'll go in at the very end. It's not gonna cook with the other vegetables. Here are the scallops, and they're so easy. They take about 3 minutes to cook, and every little scallop has a little muscle. You can kind of see it, it's white. It has to come off. It's really tough to eat and not palatable. And also, you would never want to rinse shrimp or scallops because they have a film on them that helps caramelize them when you cook them. So you just pat them dry. I found this Bonafide vegetable broth at the grocery store recently, and it is an absolutely delicious vegetable stock. Whatever quality stock goes in the soup, it ends up being the flavor of your soup. Again, I haven't salted anything because it does have quite a bit of sodium, and then I can adjust later with a little salt and pepper if needed. But this is 4 cups, and 4 cups is what's going to go into the soup. All right, I'm going to bring this to a boil, and then it's going to simmer for about 15 minutes. In the meantime, we're going to sear the scallops in butter. So let's get the scallops. And again, I'm going to lightly salt and pepper these. Turn up to kind of a medium heat. So the scallops just stay absolutely as they are for about 1.5 minutes. No moving or shifting. That's how they get seared, and then they get flipped at about 1.5 minutes. All right, the soup's about finished. I'm going to cut the scallops in half to make them bite-sized pieces. And then we're going to top off the soup with some cream, and you can put however much cream you want to put in your soup. But the creamy really offsets the, or just warms up the flavors, all those herb flavors. And then the asparagus, the scallops, and a handful of frozen peas go in, and we're done. So a little handful of peas, I think it just gives pretty color. And it's also very springy. A dollop of cream, maybe a quarter cup. Oh, it's so beautiful. The scallops and their juices. The cooled asparagus. Needs a little bit more salt, a little pepper. And then I'm gonna put it in nice big bowls. There is just nothing better in the cool of winter than to have a nice hot bowl of soup, and all the better to have it kind of springy and fresh as we get ready for spring. This soup smells and tastes delicious. Tommy and I are going to have a nice belly comforting lunch today.
Oh, that smells so good.
That's for you.
Can't wait.
All right. So nice of Tommy to drop in. We hope to have him on more often, but this was really fun, and we will see you again soon.